Hey, so welcome back. We're going to do parts 3 and 4. Parts 3 now. If you remember back at part 1 and 2, it was mainly inside the main manufacturing facility. We had talked about the construction, the floors, how we make our walls, the rotocast bays, all those things before the box is built, before the house comes together. So in parts 3, I want to go around the outside. Parts 4, I want to go around the inside just to make sure that we're validating all the things that we talked about, all the things that you see out there, kind of understanding why we're different than other manufacturers and what makes our standards different from the industry standards. So we are over here across town at one of our other facilities, and we've got a beautiful 2025 Fleetwood Altitude. This happens to be the 27U floor plan, which is our Murphy bed floor plan. It's very, very popular in today's market. So we want to make sure we go through that on the entirety on the inside. But first, let's go around some things on the outside. So we talked about some of the things that makes us different on the outside of the coach. One of the most important features and components that make up a Class C is what's facing all the elements going down the road. This front cap is so critical in the transportation portion and also for keeping things out of the coach that you don't want in there. So as you can see, there are no seams along those front caps. This is a fully encased one-piece front cap. We've actually integrated some lighting features into there for some aesthetic purposes. And the coolest thing is this great big bonded windshield. So we actually bond that into the front cap the same way you'd bond it into a windshield in your cab area. So the other important piece is the fact that these are sealed in lenses at the top for your marker lights. A lot of times you'll see in the industry standard type pieces, you'll see a seam that goes up the front with a rolled piece of fiberglass. Anytime there's a seam on the front of the cap, there's a potential for water intrusion, additional air noise, any kind of wind. And keep in mind, this thing is going down the road like a bullet. So you're catching all your wind, all your action is coming from the front cap. The sealed lights are very important too, because a lot of times you have the over the top with the screw sticking in the lights. We actually seal these directly into the mold of the front cap. It's probably something pretty important to mention now is the fact that our sister company, Gold Shield, is the manufacturer of these caps. So we keep all the quality control in-house. So we know that when we design and they build a mold, the quality coming out of that manufacturing facility is to our standards, not to someone else's in some other area. Moving up to the top of the coach, you'll see that we've done a great job with the seaming portion of it. So where you seam your front cap to your roof is very important as well. We do a radiused roof, so we do an arched aluminum truss inside the roof. Standard on these coaches is a single air conditioner, a 15,000 BTU air conditioner. Optional is a 5.5 generator with 2 roof air conditioners, which this coach is equipped with. We also have a 300-watt solar panel option. This coach has that also. So a lot of times you'll see when we build the Fleetwoods, we'll put as many options on there as we can to make sure that things are great for you when you're out using them. Okay, now that we're back down on the ground, we saw the cool stuff up on the roof. I want to touch base on a few things that are out here on the side of the coach, especially the patio side area, which is your heavy usage side, if you want to say. So the first thing we kind of come to is this awning. And industry standard is to put a manual crank awning on there. We don't do that. We actually put an electric awning on, operated by a button. Very nice, got full patio coverage. So you have great pitch, great throw, and great area down below. So you can set your grill out, set your table out, have all kinds of lawn chairs and all kind of fun stuff going on out here. The next thing we're going to come to is probably one of the coolest features on the outside of the coach. It's going to allow you to have the best access on the inside. The entry door. So industry standard is a much narrower door that doesn't allow you quite as much space to get inside. So if you're broad-shouldered, if you're carrying groceries, if you're bringing the pets in, what have you, it's a little bit more of a struggle. But in here, since Fleetwood by nature has been a Class A manufacturer, we tend to think in Class A mindsets. So this is a Class A door, not a Class C door. So as I walk in here, I've got plenty of room, no obstructions in my space. It's a great thing. We have no step down below to clog up or to get rusty or to attract road debris. So it's a single step getting inside, 3 steps up to the top, all equal in length and throw. So we're good to go there. So great feature there. And a monster window. Again, industry standard, small door, small window, Fleetwood standard, big door, big window, okay? On the outside, one of the things that we like to mention is the fact that in every floor plan, we're gonna have some form of exterior entertainment. So in certain floor plans, we'll do a 32-inch TV. Certain floor plans will do a 40-inch TV. So sound bar complete on the outside, so no skimping out here either. For those evening movies or those afternoon ball games or a great tailgate or whatever, you've got all kinds of entertainment right here. What we did talk about in a previous episode, I think it was in 1 or 2, was the fact that we do the rotocast style luggage liners versus what industry standard is to cover plywood with some carpet and or to take some galvanized metal and cover it with an ozite material. This one. So if you look in here, we'll have our inverter on the inside, both of our slide disconnects, and this material is called rotocast. So it's very rugged, very durable. It's seamless, so there's no chance for any kind of moisture or road debris, or if you're driving through rough conditions, no snow, no salt, no grime getting inside here. So what's in here is safe and protected. Tankless water heater, we mentioned that when we had that on the bench in one of the last episodes, so it's a great feature here. Right inside there, you don't see a tank, so it's much more residential, much more user-friendly if you have multiple people inside the coach that are going to be taking showers back to back to back. It will keep a continuous flow of hot water. You don't need to wait for that water to heat up in that tank. So great system there. Furnace, that's pretty much industry standard furnaces on the outside. Now we get to the kitchen, the outside kitchen. So a great design on the outside, a Surfax material out here, so it's very rugged and very durable. There's some storage up in the top. We do have the refrigerator on the outside just for cold beverages. And the cool thing now these days is not necessarily the grill, but the griddle. So you got a pull-out griddle on the outside. You got great coverage underneath your patio. Good spot for sausage and bacon and eggs in the morning, some hamburgers and hot dogs in the afternoon, and maybe a steak later on in the evening. If you do want to stay with the grill and you want to bring one along with you and you need that propane, but you don't want to store that tank, the coach has onboard propane, and we have a connection right down here you can connect to that. It's a quick connect fitting that allows you to use the house propane to fire up your standalone grill. As we mentioned, altitude. The back of most Class Cs is pretty standard, pretty common, pretty ordinary. We've got the powder-coated white bumper. It's going to allow you to put your hose in. We do add additional storage at the back. This is ozite. You'll see in here is like, hey, he mentioned it, they only use rotocast on the outside. We typically will use rotocast every place down below the belt line is exposed to any kind of road debris. This is above the belt line in the house portion of the coach, so we can use this ozite in here. It is protected on the inside. A rear ladder, so you can still get up there and check. By the way, that I mentioned, we are a full walk-on roof. So if you needed to get up there to check your sealants, which we encourage to do every 90 to 120 days or so, and also to check your conditions of your fan shrouds or your air conditioner shrouds or anything like that, you can get up there and walk around. Nice LED lighting strips for your brakes and tail lights. Fuel fill is at the back, so you can look at your backup camera, which is located up here, as you pull up to the fuel island, and you can see exactly where you're at. You know where the pump is at, so you can go ahead and put fuel in. Great feature there too. So very common in the Class C space of the RV industry when it comes to the things you don't really want to do, such as dumping those tanks, pulling those knife valves. You'll see those down below the bottom of the coach exposed to anything that you may pick up in the road, things like that. I mentioned that was industry standard. Here at Fleetwood, we do things a little bit differently. So we actually have a compartment dedicated for that. And as you can see here, our gray and our black are actually above here, below the belt line, but above the lower portion of the floor, so it's all up here and protected. Something else to mention is most of the time, industry standard for the competition is going to be 30 amp service. I mentioned before that we're more of a Class A manufacturer that builds Class Cs. So our mind always tells us the more power, the better. So as you look in here, we're a 50 amp power cord. So it's heavy duty, it's rugged, it's durable. It teams up well with the rest of the power sources on the inside, and you're never short of power, whether you do the 4.0 Jenny standard with the 1 AC or the 2 with the 5.5 and the dual AC, you still get that 50 amp power service. Great storage on the outside here as well. So any nook and cranny we can find, anything you can find behind, this happens to be behind the galley space and behind the wardrobe space. It may not be accessible and usable from the inside, but it'll be accessible and usable from the outside. Generator on the outside of the coach is going to be with a vented door, and right beside that generator is side vision cameras. So as you activate a turn signal inside your coach, in your backup monitor, which doubles as your infotainment center on the inside, You'll have a side vision camera that shoots an image down the side of your coach to help with blind spots. So getting back up here, like most of the competition outside of the guys using the 350s and the 3500s, we're going to be E450 chassis on all of our Class Cs, all of our Fleetwoods. So you can come to expect the best from the ride, the drive, and the handling. We touched base on the DX4 when we had the roll chassis, but you're really going to experience that if you get in the driver's seat and take it for a test drive. So that's going to wrap up session 3 on the outside of the coach, the top features on the outside. Session 4 will be later on the inside of the coach.